Hey guys, Jason here. So I've had a few questions about what core gameplay is looking like in our heads, what we're thinking as we go from our pre-alpha gameplay through the end of this year and into building this alpha gameplay ecosystem. I know this is important when you're thinking about what kind of cards, or if you want to get a full pack of Duo cards this weekend, tomorrow. So let me explain what we have, at least in our heads at this point, with the caveat of we want to make sure that the game is sustainable and allows for many players to come in over time. We also want to make sure that our players are the ones who are minting and creating new NFTs, new cards out into the ecosystem. So there's some gameplay mechanics that we don't have fully fleshed out for that, but know that as we create new decks and new collections, we actually want to use you as the player, as the primary mechanism for unlocking those and getting the main value out of selling those into the marketplace. So those are some of the core principles that we have. We want to use those to make sure we have a sustainable token economic model long-term. And here's kind of what we're thinking in terms of core gameplay. So this is what a match would look like within Duo during alpha, and I'll walk you through each step of the process. So here's kind of what we have. We have the black card holders, and they are the prompts for every match. So this is what you've seen in pre-alpha gameplay that we are posting in. Then you're gonna have color cards, which are actually NFTs with punchlines. So these are the funny cards that you would put up to that black card. Right now, you guys in pre-alpha get to write these, but once we release our NFTs this weekend, these will be fixed values that you'll collect and hold in a hand. And maybe you hold 50 of them, maybe you hold 5 of them, or 1, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is every match that you play these color cards on, that will tie up that card for the rest of the round. So if you think of a match as this short period of time, and the round as a longer piece. So the round basically is just from the time that every match starts till when the black card owners are required to vote and pick winners. So let me talk through that core gameplay. So as a black card holder, you would put your black card into a pool of active cards that can be played. And a group of color card players, so this might be a lobby that you create, matchmaking, or even just strangers that you get together. There'll be 10 players. They come into a lobby, and then they are shown 5 black cards to vote on. So they get a choice. They get a choice of black cards to vote on to begin the match. Now, once they pick a black card that they want to vote on, this would probably be a weighted dice roll. So if you think of, they would vote maybe 60% for this one, 10% for this one, and 30% for this one. It's likely that the 60% one's gonna get the dice roll, but it's possible that even the 10% could. So this one goes into the match, and that's the black card that everybody's gonna play on for that match. This helps protect against somebody trying to game the system and play only on their own card. But ultimately, this is a mechanism that could be tweaked over time. So these 10 players are playing on this black card. The black card has to put up 10 tokens. We envision these being our own native token that we would airdrop in alpha gameplay for individuals who want to play and help us test what that system looks like. But these won't be available until alpha gameplay. So the black card has to put up 10 tokens, for example. These numbers may change, but it's a security deposit for this match taking place. And then the color card holders each put in a token. So that means your pot is a total of 20 tokens right now. And whoever the black card player picks to be the winner, so let's say this is the funniest card or the best card in their own subjective judgment, whoever they pick at the end of the round during this closing period, because they may have multiple matches, multiple black cards in play, this black card will only be tied up for one whole round. So if you have multiple black cards, maybe you've got 3 or 4 that you're voting on at the end of the round, we want to give them a window of time in which they pick the winners, and then everybody else can see, hey, my color card won in this match, and it won in this other match, and it won in this third one over here as well. I'm doing really good today. But essentially, when you win as a color card, the 10 tokens that were tied up in a security, if that black card player picks a winner for that round within this time, then they get their 10 tokens back. So they get 10 tokens back, and the color card winner, so this guy or gal, gets 10 tokens. So you put in 1 and you can get 10 out. Now, as the security deposit, if the black card player doesn't pick a winner, then automatically we're going to allocate 1 of those 10 to every color card participant in the round. So this just incentivizes and keeps the black card players from stalling out or not completing rounds, but they are required to pick a winner, otherwise that security deposit gets distributed. So you might be asking, what's the incentive for black card players to even participate in this? Well, there's 2 things. First of all, we'll also release into the overall economy some number of tokens that is an incentive on every round completed for the black card players. We want to make sure this is sustainable, so we're still playing around with that number, but it will be highly incentivized for black card players to own those cards and to keep them in gameplay. So those are really the core mechanics of how we envision rounds and matches running right now. Remember, matches are shorter periods of time, probably around 3 minutes, that will take place. So if you have, let's say you've got 10 color cards in your hand, you could play matches back to back to back throughout that whole round, and you could potentially be earning these winning tokens from that. So you start off with tokens if you're in alpha gameplay by getting airdropped them. This is how we'll help our Genesis deck owners. You start off with some tokens so they can play with the game, and we'll see what that ends up being, and then we'll seed the whole ecosystem with a token pre-sale. So if you are interested in participating in Duo early, we'll be able to run this entire game if you own one of these Genesis deck NFTs, and then we'll also be able to allocate tokens to you so you can start to actually see what that game feels like once we get into the full alpha gameplay. This is what we're thinking. Things of it may change, I'm sure they will. I can't imagine that we're going to get it 100% right out of the gate, but ultimately, if you are a black card holder, or if you're trying to purchase black cards for kind of a longer term investment, just know that it's a passive type of gameplay. So if a round is only an hour, you get to elect if your card is played into that round. If it's inactive gameplay, maybe you only want to play for a few hours a day. So you say, hey, I'm putting my card into the active gameplay pool to be voted on for the matchmaking sessions, and then that goes into gameplay, and I can pick a winner at the end of that time block. Now, hour might be too short, might be too long, we don't know yet, but we want to really tweak those numbers and figure out what works through our alpha gameplay. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, please let me know. I really appreciate it. I think this is a good description, but I also know that it's a lot of writing on a whiteboard and it can look pretty messy over time. So if you have other questions, please ask me questions in the Discord channel. See ya.